Greetings, everyone, on the sci fiction awesomeness. My name is Owen Cotter. We are coming to you from a space station. No, not actually a space station in space. Coming to you from a ride here. We're parked out here. We're about to talk. Ran a little bit late today. We're going in a little bit, 4 minutes after 2 p.m. CST time. We are going to be talking with here in just a little bit Robert V. Conte. He is an amazing individual, pop culture historian, sci-fi, done a little bit of everything. He's got a new vinyl album. I'll let him talk about that. We're going to go over some items here. We're going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana, January the 5th through the 7th, right? Yeah, I'm here with Mars, our co-host. Chime in there, say hi, babe.
Hi.
Whee!
Here, you'll see my hand.
She is right there. We're going to be going to New Orleans. Let's go over some of the highlights here of the awesome New Orleans Guest Fan Expo goodness here. We'll bring this up on the screen here for you for a second. Here are the superstar guests coming to Fan Expo. We love Fan Expo. We're looking forward to going to this event. You've got Katie Sackhoff, Sean Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy. My name is Earl Jason Lee, Vincent D'Onofrio himself, Danny Trejo, Charlie Cox, Holly Marie Combs, Rose McGowan. We got a really good lineup of voice actors as well. Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime himself, Cam Clark, Cam Clark, Townsend Coleman, Barry Gordon, and Raphael Rob Paulson. All going to be the original OG Ninja Turtle voice actors for the original cartoon series. It's going to be a lot of stuff. We've also got comic creators, all kind of good comic creators here. You've got Arthur Adams. You've got he's amazing. Mark Brooks, Simon Bisley, Jim Shooter, Kimmy Garcia, who we interviewed last year, super nice lady. Got some amazing stuff going with Titans. Klaus Jansen, Sweeney Boo, and Michael Golden. That's going to be awesome. And then we got cosplayers. See who this year's cosplayers are. You have Becca Cos, Simple Cos, Play, Morganite cosplay, Strange Cat cosplay, and Remy Domino. Nice, great cosplay. And then they got some tattoo artists here. Which ones are those? So pop culture tattoo, some great art, man. Brenton Potter, Mikey Brown, Gary Parisi, Tori Robinson, Matt Rester, Kelly Rogers, Mark Draven, and Blaine. Beautiful art there. This is going to be taking place January the 5th through the 7th of 2024 at the New Orleans Arts Memorial Convention Center in New Orleans, Louisiana, down on the riverfront. So we're really looking forward to going to that event. It's going to be totally awesome. Can't wait. And then we've got I'm back. Hey, everybody, what's up? If you're still joining us here, we are on Sci Fiction Everything. We're streaming, simulcasting on our YouTube channel at Sci Fiction Official. Please follow our YouTube channel. We're trying to build the numbers up on that. We're going to be dumping a lot of video content, a few other video files we have collected, archived, and we're going to be doing a ton of stuff from Fan Expo 2024, New Orleans, and there's a lot of other stuff we're working on gearing up towards as well to bring y'all. We've got also streaming on Facebook at Sci Fiction COM, Twitch at Sci Fiction COM, and at Sci Fiction on Twitter. We also have a TikTok at Sci Fiction. Go follow that. Lots of good stuff on that. We go live on that quite a bit and post all kind of wild and craziness and all kind of sci-fi goodies. So go check that out. It's totally cool. Totally cool. We've got, bring the comments over. If anybody wants to ask Robert some questions when you're here, feel free to ask questions. Bring in the chat. There's a chat there on the side. We got the question goodness. Got some questions. And we will be going live here shortly with him. And we've got a lot of stuff. We're trying to get more content put together. We just hired some new writers for the site. Got one specifically, Dia. She's an amazing video game writer. Writing all kind of goodies for us. We've got Kieran, of course. He's out in London. And a few of our other writers spread out across all over the globe. They're bringing in all kind of goodies for you. We've also got some interview content they're going to be showcasing on the site, as well as more podcasts and the radio show. For people joining us, this is episode 55 for the Subspace Radio Network iHeartRadio Sci Fiction Radio Show. So episode 55. So if you're joining us on Subspace, this broadcast will be aired on, let's see, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. This Thursday's already passed. So that will be, I think the 17th, no, 20-something of October. That's usually airs at 7 to 8 p.m. CST, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. And it's on the Subspace Radio Network, iHeartRadio Awesomeness. So get ready for that. We also, I think this week, we're going to be airing Brendan Allinger. So after that, will be Robert v. Conte. And we got a somebody here just chimed in on this chat. Let's see what we got. Should get this comment here. So I can get it. There it is. Well, don't forget to follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sci-Fiction Official. That's right. And then we get Mars just said, don't forget to follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sci-Fiction Official. All together one word. That's fiction. Please follow the YouTube channel. We go live on that as well. All of our archive live streams and broadcasts are on there, as well as top tier interviews, pop culture segments, montages, you name it. It's all on our YouTube channel at Sci-Fiction Official. Also, while we have a quick few minutes, we do want to talk to you about, we are looking for advertisers and sponsors. If you have an event, a project, a movie project, a comic book trilogy and book trilogy, whatever you have, we would like to help you promote. We do have rates at that, pricing depending on what you're doing, whether it's month to month, year to year, whatever you need. Also, we do cover events. So if you have an event and have a rate, throw it out. We have rates, or throw us out what you want us to cover and what you need, and we'll work with you on that. And we also are looking for sponsors who'd like to activate some more sections of the site. And anybody that wants to come in and do a full year or 6 months, preferably a year long sponsorship, we will promote you to the ends of the universe with our 300,000 subscriber fan base. Which the fans fuel the fleet, as our friends say in Interfleet Broadcasting. We are very thankful for all the fans, all the sci-fiction fan base. We love bringing out quality content. We usually try and come live every week, at least once or twice a week, here on the Facebook and YouTube to Twitter and Twitch. And then we bring quality. We update the site almost daily, pretty much every day. And we update the Facebook daily, the Twitter daily, and everything's being updated all the time. So it's always constant content churning out all day long, 24 hours. Pretty much. It's a lot of content. So we're managing a lot over here, and we could use the sponsorship to take it to the next level. Want to activate more writers, more contributors, more everything. So just let that be set that in your mind. Here shortly, we will be bringing on Robert. Really looking forward to talking with him. He's got a. Let me bring up some of his stuff here. Go to. Hold on just a second. Just a second. Studio. There you go. Here it is. All right. Let's bring this up real quick. Let me get this in the hopper. Let's see, not Dennis Hopper. Here we go. There it is. The House of Terror 40th anniversary album, which has a amazing book called Monsters, which is done by the late Neal Adams. And it's a remastered in color by Continuity Studios. They have two different versions. I'm going to let him talk about what's on these when Robert gets on the broadcast. But we've got two different versions. One's blood splatter with the monsters and the Frankensteins and all the goodness. The other's just the regular vinyl album, it looks like. And you've got all this beautiful art by Neal Adams, just stocked full of goodies. They've got the 180 GSM blood splatter set with Neal Adams graphic novel. That's awesome, man. It's super cool. Yeah, I got to talk with Neal Adams on camera a few years back before he passed away. And, man, it was quite an amazing trip to talk to him about his viewpoints on pop culture, the new movies like Fantastic Four. It's a little bit older interview, but he talked about, Man of Steel. I think he come out some of the Superman films and Batman and all that. Always coffee, good time. Have your coffee goodness. But yeah, this looks amazing. And Robert does a lot of other things. He's done stuff in the past with like Star Wars and other licenses and all kind of big stuff. So also he worked with the band Kiss, which I love Kiss. Kiss is amazing. Gene Simmons, by the way, for people that may or may not know, was inspired by the Inhumans Marvel comic books to create the costumes for Kiss. So if you look at the early Inhumans comic books and the design of the costumes are very similar, many of them, to the Kiss costumes that they wore back in the Kiss days. Most of the earlier Kiss costumes. It's really cool. He's a big geek himself. And there's a documentary clip that I saw that he was talking about that. So it's super neat. And yeah, so that's cool. Of course, he's been in sci-fi too. He was in what's the movie Runaway with Tom Selleck with the acid robots and the gun that had the robot bullet or whatever. That's awesome, man. I think he actually kept that prop. I think he had said somewhere, I'm not totally sure, but I believe he kept that prop from the actual film, which is kind of hilarious. Thing, but of course, Ewan McGregor kept one of his lightsabers, I believe, but he wasn't supposed to do that. But whatever, he was gifted that. I think he earned it. I don't know what you think, everybody. So I think he earned it, babe. Let's see what we got here. Comments. All right. Get the captions going here. But who am I? I am Owen C. Cotter, scifiction.com. We'll bring Robert's title up here in a second. We are broadcasting here on YouTube at Sci-Fiction Official, right down there. And we can follow us on Facebook in Sci-Fiction COM and Twitter and TikTok at Sci-Fiction. Right. Got on the money there it is. So you can follow us all over the social media goodness. My name is Owen Cotter. You're watching Sci-Fiction on Sci-Fiction everywhere, including the radio's episode 55, I believe, on Subspace Radio Network, iHeartRadio, on Sci-Fiction Radio. So we do. I just wanted to say this. We have a shout out that Doug Jones did for Sci-Fiction Radio. We could play that real quick if we have it somewhere here. If you find that, y'all guys might like this. Everybody, guys and gals, y'all will love this. Let me see if I can find it here. It's in here. Let me see if I can find it. You'll love this. This will be going on the. We really are thankful for Doug to do this for us, free of charge. Super nice guy. We love. We'll always enjoy talking with him. Here he is.
Hey, this is Doug Jones, and you are listening to Sci-Fiction Radio.
Solid gold, baby. That's awesome. So we're going to be putting that on the radio soon. Thank you so much, Doug Jones, for the shout out. Awesomeness. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, always. And we're going to be doing some other. I think next week, the next guest we're going to have on the show is Mark Secree, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Mark Secree is going to come on. He's got an amazing Kickstarter he's doing for Space Command for the post production, I believe, for his epic, awesome Space Command awesomeness. So join us this time next week or sometime next week. We don't have locked down a date yet, but we'll be doing it next week. Talking with Mark about the awesome Kickstarter he's doing. Really love Space Command. Always a pleasure. A lot of those actors and people become friends of mine, and just super great crew they've got over there. Everybody from Ethan McDowell to Brian McClure to Nathan to Adam Sartain to Mark himself and his wife Elaine. Some of the nicest, most positive people you ever meet. Production is amazing. I'm really looking forward to this next epic. I think they've got half of it filmed for the 6 hours first season. They're going to get the next 6 hours next one. We want to go down to the set sometime here soon and do some filming and talk to him. He's got an amazing collection of, let him tell you about it. He's got an amazing collection of vintage space suits, like all the old day, everything you can imagine from like 2010 to any kind of spacesuit you can imagine. Aliens and robots and spaceship sets, and it's just steroids, sci-fi on steroids. And he's doing the new one on the box set, I believe I saw in the Kickstarter. I'm going to show the Kickstarter video next time we talk to him before we bring him on the broadcast next time. But one of the versions of the film is going to be in homage to kind of the old days of like Space Patrol and Buck Rogers. Will be filmed in what's called black and white platinum. And it's going to be like a special version of like what it would look like if it were like back in the 30s or 40s, which is super cool, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and bringing him on next time on the broadcast. We got Robert. He's going to be coming on here in just a minute. Looking forward to talking with him about all the awesome goodies he's doing and has got going on. Want to also shout out to Michael Brandfold for hooking us up with this interview. Michael, you're the man, always rocking and rolling, always. Michael, for people who don't know, a few years back, we had debuted an amazing music video here on Sci-Fiction that was super cool. That was kind of like robots with this kind of Isaac Asimov sci-fi intro music video. That was super cool by a couple that had done an amazing artistry on that, and the music was solid gold. We had brought them on the broadcast, and that was a lot of fun. We did that with, I think, their Dark Star Sony Universal music label, so that was super cool. And we're really excited to talk with Robert here on about his project at Studio Chikara. And Robert's just looks like he's done a lot of goodies too. He's also a pop culture historian, so I'm really curious to pick his brain about all the sci-fi and all the goodies. And he's worked with Kiss, which is super cool too. So yeah, we're going to be at Fan Expo, everybody. We'll bring that up real quick one more time before you start the broadcast here with Robert. Let's see what we get. Fan Expo. That's not Fan Expo. What's Fan Expo? Yeah, hold on a second. Got so much stuff on this computer. There it is. Fan Expo. Let's see, there it is. Fan Expo. And Sure. Here it is. Get your 2024 tickets for January 5th to the 7th, 2024 in New Orleans at the convention center down there by the riverfront. It's going to have amazing guests. This is an amazing industry event. It's got just all kind of good. Oh, we want to shout out the anime guests too. We want to shout out to our friends down there at the Louisiana Ghostbusters. Our good friend Randolph Allen, the Vice Admiral of the Federation, we brought on the broadcast previously this last week or so. And we want to shout out to the Doctor Who Club Crew to Who, and also our friends at the Federation and 501st Legion and Rebel Base, Rebel Legion, and our friends at the Week in Geek Radio, Scungy and David DeCorbier of the WRNO 99.5. Check that out. They have an amazing Geek Chic radio show every Sunday evening. It's super awesome. And David DeCorbier and all those guys are super awesome. They're going to be at Fan Expo as well as Deuce from Louisiana Ghostbusters. All of our friends, tons of our friends will be down there. And maybe even our friend Jacob Charlotte. We're waiting to hear back from him, who was in Space Command himself and doing a lot of sci-fi and movie stuff he's working on these days. He's ramping up. For people that don't know Jacob Charlotte, highly recommend checking his IMDb out because he's doing a lot of stuff. He's getting ready to do, I think, a pilot of a new show. He did a film with Danny Trejo. It's like a sci-fi that's been taken around a lot of these award ceremonies. Like I think they're going to maybe do the Saturn Awards, and they just got the LA Burbank Film Festival. Mm-hmm. They're doing a lot of stuff. They're been bringing around all these different film festivals.
Who you're talking to.
Talking about Jacob Charlotte.
No, not me.
Oh, that's Mars.
Mars.
Hey, Mars. What's up, baby? She's the sidekick, host, awesomeness, assistant, co-commander of the whole show here.
And all the banners.
And all the banners you see, all the bling. That's her. That's her. She does all the goodness. She's very, very talented. We're going to bring on Robert here shortly. But we wanted just to say, everybody, we're really looking at Fan Expo. We may be doing another event. That's March. CoastCon possibly too. Waiting to hear back from him. Frank, we'll see you there. I just got to hear back from here shortly. Let's see who else. Garrett over at one of his events down there. It's also in Louisiana. And I'm seeing something. April, I don't know if anything. We're working on April. May's my birthday, so hopefully there's something in there we can go cover and hang out. If worst case, we just do more live streams and more broadcasts with cool guests. And then coming up after that, shortly after that's going to be Comic-Con International, San Diego, and then...
Or they have somewhere in Texas.
Somewhere in Texas.
If you guys know a Comic-Con
anywhere in Texas
that Sci-Fiction wants to go, just email us, let us know, or email us the website.
Yeah, go. The best way to do it is go to the Facebook page and DM us a message at Sci-Fiction
like, hey, we have this one.
Yeah. Send us a message at Sci-Fiction COM on our Facebook page. And it's the only one. You just type in sci-fiction in the search bar, and it pops up the first one. I think there's like 227,000 subscribers, and it's got this gold and the blue letters with the sun eclipsing with the comet going straight up. That's that one. The same one you're watching right now if you're on the live stream. So yeah, this is awesomeness. We're going to be bringing on Robert here shortly, beaming him into the Quantum Leap rating room here, and then we'll get him brought on to the actual reality of awesomeness in the Matrix. The digital grid, everybody.
While we wait for Robert, since our next event is Fan Expo New Orleans, who are you girl fanning to see?
Well, for me, I would say Peter Cullen, because that's just super awesome. Voice of Optimus Prime.
Doesn't?
Total, for a lot of kids that didn't have a good father figure, he was kind of like their leader in their life. And the Ninja Turtles are pretty cool.
Yes, I saw that too.
I mean, dude, I watched that show. I binged it. That last season was wild, man, when they went on some alien
I know
planet.
we have some... We just recently got just little small figures from the cartoon series.
We don't have Michelangelo though. We need him, man.
Well, yeah, we didn't find that one, but I kind of want to take him so we can get those signed.
You can take him up there. He might have some 8x10s or some autographs.
But I want to get Optimus Prime.
Yeah, Optimus Prime. I want to get an interview. Peter Cullen, we're coming to see you at Fan Expo. Want to interview you, man?
Give us a little slot.
I want to get a shout out from you. Just because that needs to happen, because that would be awesome. I want him to say something like, "This is Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime." I might even attempt to do it. She's way better than me, but you're listening to Sci-Fiction Radio, just like Doug Jones did. That way we can put it on there. We're going to collect a collection of these, and we're going to collage them as a primer for the radio show. That way it's not just me saying, was it like your broadcast transmission portal to all things science fiction and beyond? That's a cool intro, though. That's pretty.
Or sometimes, I mean, I think
I like the music.
I've done a couple of the radio ones too.
Yeah. She's been on the radio on the show several times, as well as the broadcast. Also, by the way, most people don't know this, but the outro for the radio show, the music was done by an amazing industrial electronic and pop band called Have a Blast that's no longer around. And Cammie Have a Blast. Cammie sent me some of the songs, and I'm like, man, this would be dope. So I clipped a segment of that song to put back there. I wish that band were still up. They had some of the trippiest, coolest sci-fi pop culture video montages and music videos. They're from like maybe 20 years ago. Early 2000s.
I'm also going back to the Fan Expo.
Yeah.
I know it sounds weird, but I hopefully maybe we'll get a sponsorship from this company.
That'd be great.
But the Wild Bill's root beer.
Oh, Wild Bill's root beer. Y'all come down the Fan Expo. Bring your big silver, red, metallic mug.
That they have, though.
Their mug. You get your free refill all the time.
Last year, I forgot my other one. My the silver one that Owen actually had when it was Wizard
World. Yeah, so here's a story about that, how I got that. I got it for free, by the way. So,
lucky you. I paid $50.
Well, hold on a second. Let me tell you how that happened. So, I get Peter Cullen up here for a second, the voice of Optimus Prime himself and the Ninja Turtles. He'll be at Fan Expo on January 5th to 7th. So I interviewed the head of Wild Bill's Brute Beer. Super nice guy, and he gave me a free, and I did on camera. I did a taste. That stuff was creamy goodness.
It's so good.
So good. That root beer. Like Wild Bill's root beer. You got to check out Wild Bill's. If you're at Fan Expo, bring your metallic mug. You know what it is. And it's the big one. It has the big, heavy metallic mug, the big handle on it. Bring it down there. You'll get you some refills of all the good root beer.
They have so many flavors.
They've got like different ones too.
They have vanilla.
Yeah.
They have the cherry flavor.
Isn't it like a ginger beer or something too?
Yeah, and then
a cola.
There's like diet,
it's
regular.
Orange one too. Yeah.
There's like 6 of them.
There's like 6 or 7.
No, I'm lying. Like 5 of them.
5 or 6, yes.
And then you just take your cup. You just make sure you get there, and then they need to put their little band so that way you get.
Yeah, you get the little bracelet, but then they know that you already got unlimited root beer refill. So I'll go do an interview. I'm like, hello, we're here live. Oh, my voice is part. And you get this and like any little parts of Wild Bill's root beer. We're gonna tag you in this broadcast afterwards, Wild Bill's.
Yes.
Once you Wild Bill's, that'd be a great sponsor.
We need a good sponsor.
We need some good sponsors.
Hint.
Wild root beers.
I'm always going there all the time.
That'd be awesome. We need some sponsors on this thing. We've been working on this project since I've been working on it since 2010 when we activated the first version 9-10, first version of the blog.
You've been working on it longer.
14, 15
years.
years.
We've been together 3 years.
3 years.
So we've been with Mars.
Here's the cool thing about Mars. When we were working before this with people we won't name and they kind of screwed it up on the servers, it was straight out of a Tom Clancy novel. We'll just leave it at that. She helped me get back on track and give me the inspiration to kind of get me out of that situation. And we finally got the site back online, reconstructed and rebuilt up, and
then start doing these lives
and social media goodness. Because this is like my full-time gig, everybody. I love sci fiction, love science fiction, pop culture, fantasy, a little horror, everything, anime, video games. It's one of the things I wanted to do for the site is bring out more video game content for everybody, because video games are popular. There's a lot of sci-fi space, fantasy, ninjas, Assassin's Creed, Starfield, whatever you want to play, it's all good. We want to bring you all the goodies on that, and all the interviews for people in their independent game fields as well. We want to get more anime stuff. We may activate an anime section soon, but to do that, we need help from individuals out there on the digital grid. So if you know people that want to sponsor us or give us some, we're not just trying to get money. We're trying to get funds to actually promote and be able to activate more and more. So this is a full-time gig. We're not corporatized. We're an independently owned media company.
Yeah.
We don't have NBC or like Sci-Fi does behind them. We don't have, corporate investors shilling out millions of dollars in our laps. But we do have a quality team of writers, contributors, and me. I host everything. I host the radio show. I host the on-camera live streams, the video cast, everything. And, you go look at my credentials. They're not like a lot like William Shatner by any means, but they're decent. No, Bill's got 1 billion times. He's been 70 years doing this. I'm saying I've got enough credentials to be qualified to, in my opinion, qualified to be able to bring y'all the ultimate awesomeness on the grid. And I'm just generally love science fiction, fantasy, Star Wars, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Stargate, Sliders, Babylon 5. I can't name them all. There's so many goodies. So, yeah, so in conclusion, we're going to be bringing Robert in here shortly. We got about 1 minute till 2:30. I told him to wait. It was technically 3:30 his time. I told him to wait off for a second because let me check my email.
Yeah, we're running behind a little schedule.
A little behind. We had to wait. Not in the Quantum Leap waiting room, but somewhere on the waiting room. City says here. We got a message from Kieran. It looks like something's going on with Gen V on the Boys spinoff.
Oh man.
Something's going on. It looks like there might be a season 2. Oh, we did get the approval from Amazon. Thank you, Amazon Video Awesomeness, to do all the recaps and reviews during the embargo for the. Basically, we got permission from Amazon Cliff Notes version to do all the reviews of Gen V and possibly season 2, and we maybe even doing the Boys season 4. So we got like one of the first company outlets next to all the big ones like Nerdist and stuff to get the download on that. And we've been trying to get Disney. We love Disney. They just so strict, man. We get like, chime in, George Lucas here. Well, no, I don't know no more, but well, it's John Favreau and Dave Filoni. You know a funny story about Dave Filoni? We're with my crew. We're down over in Chicago at McCormick Place in 2019. We were talking. We were setting up an interview with our good friend of the channels. He's just a super cool guy, Greg Grunberg, super awesome guy. We're backstage talking with him and setting up some stuff for on-camera stuff. And then Dave Filoni comes from his panel. And I was like, hey guys, tips his hat, and like cool cowboy hat. I was, hey guys, what's up? How y'all guys doing? And we talk. He's super nice guy, my word. And that guy, he's George Lucas's protege. So it's kind of cool to have, his mentor being George Lucas and Dave being just the genius himself. John Favreau, I mean, golly, those guys, in my opinion, they've done an amazing job of what they've done with the Star Wars universe. And Dave Filoni, John Favreau, they really took it. I mean, since I was a little kid, I'm going to be honest with you, Star Wars fans, I've always wanted a live-action Star Wars show. Now I got a ton of them. It's great. So I got the Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Andor. Oh, man, Andor was great, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I loved Andor, man. I tell you, what'd you like about Andor, babe?
I get this. I get like this in all the shows.
Oh yeah.
But I'll start biting my nails. Well, I only 2 nails out of my
two nails.
Out of my always, but it's just the quality of the film.
The Star Wars goodness.
It's just so clean and clear, and I studied maybe just one class because I didn't really like literature by itself. So there was a film and literature class in my college. So I guess just by looking at it, to me, it's just the film overall, but also the storyline behind Andor. Plus, I love the main actor. He's just
Diego Luna is Diego Luna. Yeah, he's awesome. We got a sci fiction website up there. I want to go over a quick few news items before Robert joins us. This past week, we lost the legend Mark Goddard, former actor of Lost in Space, the original series from the
Rest
60s. He played Major Don West from 1965-1968 CBS show. We have a little tribute article there on the site. Also, Star Wars Heritage Pack announced for Switch. Several of the classic Star Wars video games will be put in a Switch cartridge for your Nintendo Switch. We got the Loki Season 2 Episode 2 review on the site. We'll have the Season 3 one here soon. 800 Doctor Who episodes available online ahead of the 60th anniversary with David Tennant. And then Star Trek Resurgence video game, matter of fact, gets a physical release. And this is cool. They teamed it with IDW Publishing and IDW Cryptic Studios to do a comic book. And there's the front cover of the dope comic book, the prequel to the Star Trek Resurgence video game. There it is. So that's super cool. Looking forward to that. I think I heard something pop up here. I believe we have Robert in the broadcast. Let me bring him on here. Rob, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, Owen. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
No problem. We've been showcasing all kind of goodies, including your awesome vinyl album here on the broadcast.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we're really excited about it. It debuted at New York Comic Con last week at the Continuity Studios booth, and The feedback on it's been terrific. You not only do you get the vinyl package of the original 1975 story on side A. On side B, you get the best of Ghostly Sounds, which is a compilation of some of the other sound effects that Power Records and Peter Pan had put out in the 1970s. But the really cool thing is that you get a Neal Adams Monsters graphic novel, which is 48 pages. Cool. And is an extended and recolored version of the story that appeared in the original album.
Oh, that's super cool. So it's like the actual art and all the stuff he had done. So we got to talk to Neal back in the day. He's super awesome guy, man. Super cool.
Absolutely, yeah. He was terrific, and I got to work with him on a couple of things, in my career during my career. And great guy to talk to. I interviewed him several times for various things, and we definitely lost a legend.
Yeah, for sure. A friend of ours had done some interviews with him for a documentary. I don't know if they finished or they're working still on. It's called From the Bridge, but it was a documentary about the evolution of pop culture fandom, and they had an extensive interview. I think the YouTube clips actually on YouTube, the clips on YouTube, where he talks about how when he came along, all the art had realistic facial expressions and was more alive.
Absolutely. Well, his style was just so ahead of its time, in my opinion. I mean, the very first Neal Adams comic I ever, received as a child. I was sick one time, staying home from school. My father came over and he gave me the big Treasury edition of the Batman Ra's al Ghul storyline, which I believe was 78 or 79. It was first compiled as a collection. Yeah. And oh my gosh, it was just his style was so distinctive that whenever we would go into, my brothers and I would go into, let's say, Toys R Us, and there was toy packaging that he did. It was so, we knew it was the same artist right away.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you've done a lot of stuff in pop culture. You're like a pop culture historian. Like, what stuff have you dabbled in? I know you've done some licensing and stuff as well over the years.
Oh my gosh, that's a very long list. Well, let's start. I think probably one of the biggest things I did was I assisted in the remastering and repackaging of over 22 albums by the rock group Kiss, which are
nice.
Still available today, which is terrific. And there were, the liner notes I wrote for those are in different languages. As a matter of fact, someone recently sent me the Japanese version of the first album I worked on for them. You wanted the best, you got the best, and
awesome.
The liner notes are all in Japanese with my name at the bottom. Which I was like, wow, this is amazing. Here we are, over 25 years later, and that stuff is still out there. It's terrific.
It's like we were talking earlier in the podcast. We mentioned Gene Simmons. His costumes from Kiss were kind of directly influenced by like the Inhumans, like the design and all that jazz.
Oh, sure. Gene has said publicly many times that the inspiration for his makeup was Marvel's Black Bolt.
Yep.
And he was a big fan of Jack Kirby's, and it's funny. Paul Stanley grew up with a fellow by the name of Howard Chaykin that I'm sure you're familiar with. Who, drew the first six issues of Star Wars for Marvel, and went on to do American Flag and Black Kiss and all that great stuff. And it's just so funny how a lot of the people that came out of New York out of that time frame, early to mid 70s, in a lot of ways knew each other way before they hit it big professionally. It's especially from different genres. Paul Stanley's in a rock band, and yet he grew up with a couple of people. Marv Wolfman's another one that Gene knew, and he was doing comics, and the other one's doing traveling the world in a rock band. Pretty funny.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah,
it's awesome. You done work with Star Wars as well, and Godzilla, and all kind of other stuff.
Oh, sure. I'm glad you brought up Godzilla. One of the things. Can't wait for
the new series, by the way.
What's that?
There's that new TV series with Kurt Russell. Have you seen
it? I'm very excied about that. Yeah, there's more Godzilla stuff coming out within the next year than probably any other time, combined. I'm just at New York Comic Con. There was just so many Godzilla items that were being displayed, and I got my picture taken with a big statue of Godzilla. It was
cool.
Yeah, Godzilla was another big part of my childhood, and one thing that I found out at New York Comic Con, there was a Japanese bookstore exhibiting, and I just happened to walk past it, and they had a Japanese collection of the first 6 issues of Godzilla comics that I edited at Dark
Oh
Horse,
wow.
and I had
You
not
edited-
known this was coming out. So I picked it up, and I mean, the whole thing is translated into Japanese. And again, it's the same thing where, like, all the credits are in translations with the names at the bottom. And
So
I,
these are reprints of the old ones.
I'm sorry.
These are like reprints of the old ones.
Yes, reprints of the Dark Horse series from 1994, 95.
That was a great set. The Dark Horse. They did some Star Wars stuff, I believe, as well on there as
Well,
well.
yeah, Dark Horse did Star Wars for many
Mhm.
years. I wasn't involved in the comics over there, but
Yeah.
yeah, the thing that was great about that revelation that the stuff was just reprinted after again another 20 something years, almost 30 years actually. Kevin McGuire, who wrote the first 4 issues and drew some of the covers, and Arthur Adams that drew a lot of the covers and
Oh, Arthur
interiors
Adams,
for the
awesome.
Godzilla.
Talked to him before.
They were at New York Comic Con, so we're all talking about how funny it was that when we did those stories in the early '90s, that a lot of fans weren't necessarily happy we didn't have all the rights to all the monsters like Rodan and Mothra and all that stuff. But so we had to come up with basically our own versions of those characters.
Yeah.
And apparently those characters have a cult following in Japan, which is terrific. It's absolutely terrific. So
You got like Rodan. You got all the like the kids, all his other monsters, and he's the king of the monsters, of course.
that's right. That's right. The king of kaiju.
Guy, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got the Star Wars. You did some stuff with Trolls, I think, as well, and some other properties.
Oh, I had edited some of the troll stories that were packaged by Paper Cuts for DreamWorks, and that was a fun experience. I've been very lucky. Almost everything I've wanted to do professionally, I've had an opportunity to do. You mentioned the Star Wars. I did. I basically provided all of the or most of the assets for the Star Wars Original Tops trading card series book.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, that was fun, and I was able to write the afterword for the first volume that talks about about the Wonder Bread Star Wars cards that are very
Right.
hard to find these days.
Aren't those worth like serious money now, right?
The Wonder Bread cards, it's funny. The trading card market it's interesting to see how it fluctuates from what is considered valuable 2-3 years ago versus now, and vice versa. I mean, they're certainly scarce. It's not
Right.
as easy to get your hands on those cards like the Topps cards. And in my day, it was very difficult to get a whole set of those because you basically had to buy 9 loaves of bread in
Pretty
order
much.
to get them.
Wow.
Who's gonna I mean, if you spread it out over 9 weeks, I guess you could possibly do it with a family. But
Right.
the other thing about those cards, that most people weren't aware of initially, was that they absorbed a lot of the vegetable oil that was coming out of the bread. So even if you got the card, to flip it over, it's like, oh, it's got all these grease stains and stuff on them. So a lot of
Wow.
those cards didn't make it.
So the ones that are in better condition, they'll be graded, they'll be worth more.
I think so. Yeah, exactly.
I know they had some of the ones from I think it was like each set from like the first movie was like blue. I think the second or third set was a green border, and there's like 2 or 3 of those cards go for hundreds of dollars just loose out of the pack.
Well, you probably know
C3PO.
that one of the toughest or more expensive cards is the controversial C3PO
Yeah,
image
C3PO,
that got yanked and replaced or
right.
altered so that it didn't look so offensive. But
It's rare. It's a
that was a
collector
big
item.
joke for a while.
It's a collector's item for sure.
Oh yeah. It's really funny, and until it was brought to my attention, I never thought about it. I luckily I had both versions so we could include it in the books.
Very cool.
But,
Do you collect anything? Any like stuff? Do you collect comics or read? What kind of stuff? Do you have any collections of anything?
oh, comic books has been the majority of my life. My first job was Toys R Us. And that
Nice.
was the mid '80s, and then my second job was working at a comic book store in Huntington Station, Long Island, named Collector's
Okay.
Kingdom. And it was great because not only did we had a great community of comic collectors. It was during the time of the the DC crisis, post crisis, Marvel's Secret Wars,
Right.
Spidey changing his outfit to the black costume for the first
Venom,
time.
symbiote
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, but X-Men was selling like crazy. It was a very great time. Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller's
Oh, yeah.
Dark Knight Returns. But what was also terrific was we had a lot of the Long Island create people that were comic book professionals that lived on Long Island would visit the shop a lot. So it was
Hmm.
great. We had writers like Doug Murray who wrote the Nam. We had Peter David, Incredible Hulk. He'd stop by
Yeah.
the store. Kevin McGuire. That's how I first met Kevin McGuire. We got to work on Godzilla years later, but he was a customer at the shop. And Mike Esposito and Ross Andrew, mostly known for Metal Men and
Oh,
Wonder
man.
Woman, and
Always
you know,
liked Metal Man. That's a cool series. Underrated for sure.
yeah, Metal Men didn't get just like Doom Patrol. They didn't get the attention and I think they originally deserved. I
I
mean,
love Doom
thankfully,
Patrol.
Doom Patrol became a TV show and everything later, but yeah, that stuff was kind of far out for its time, I suppose.
You
But
got Robot Man, and you got all the crazy characters in Doom Patrol. That was a super cool book.
for
Actually,
sure.
found a copy of, I don't know which one it was. It was a old 70s, 80s copy of a Doom Patrol at a consignment place that was closing. I was like, oh, this is great. It's got Robot Man and all the characters. Some big lizard or something on the front of it. That's awesome.
Oh, cool, cool.
That's pretty cool. They got a lot of stuff going on with. How was New York Comic Con, by the way? What kind of stuff did you see down there?
Oh,
Any
Comic Con is always overwhelming because it's just so many people, and
right,
it's very hard to just stand outside of a booth and just stare at all the great stuff that's going on.
right.
The traffic line is just insane, and to walk the show.
Mm.
I got there very early and at the first day, and I was very fortunate to have been able to finish the show, but by walking around everything. But I was just exhausted by the end of the day, and
Is it more foot traffic than San Diego, or how's it equal? Or
oh no, I would say from my experiences at San
mm,
Diego, I would say San Diego still had a lot more traffic. But
gotcha.
again, New York Comic Con Thursday is usually the least busiest day.
Right.
I go there because I want to see clients and
Mm.
fellow colleagues and things. So I
Networking,
try to
catching up.
go on the first day, Friday, but Saturday and Sunday is just the madhouses. So I tried to.
So we've been really wanting to go to New York Comic Con. We've got some buddies that run Interfleet Broadcasting. It's the Battlestar Galactica communities, and they've been wanting us to go down there and meet with up, team up with them down there. We have not been to that one, but we have been to San Diego like 2 or 3 times. I mean, we love San
Oh,
Diego.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
San
it's
Diego's
awesome.
beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Great convention center. This year, my understanding is that the a lot of the attendees preferred this year as opposed to last year because of the
Mm,
writer and direct and the
right,
strikes that were going on. So a lot of the Hollywood stuff wasn't going on. It was more comic centric,
right.
and that's terrific. That's where I came from. So
Yeah,
it's
we got to give a super. Me and some buddies gave a super awesome panel on the Orville with a fully packed auditorium. That was insane. It
oh wow.
happened to be since the actors weren't there. We may be putting something together next year. Pretty cool. But we're working on some stuff. But basically, we had the whole auditorium packed for rolling footage. And I met a lady before the panel started. Happens to be the wardrobe designer and costume designer for the whole show. So as
Oh,
we're talking and stuff, so that's a good question. Matter of fact, I shot her out in the audience. She came. They gave her a mic. We had her to interact with the fans for like 15, 20 minutes. And
mhm.
supposedly everybody, we had people after the panel just coming up thanking us. And it was a blast. That was so much fun, man. And then we said that afterwards, one of the ladies, she's like a super fan of she's held events as well. Stargate, Doctor Who. I think she's also, of course, heavily in the Orville. She said a lot of the groups on the internet were talking about it. And there's a lot of buzz going on about it. So I was happy that it turned out well.
Oh,
It was a very
wonderful.
interesting panel. It was basically the topic of the panel was, is the Orville the greatest science fiction show on television at the
Mhm.
present? I don't know if we answered that question, but we talked about a lot of sci-fi and had a lot of fun, so that was also good. So,
Oh, awesome, awesome. Well, I grew up on Doctor Who, so Doctor
yeah.
Who has a special place in my
Here's the
heart.
60th anniversary of Doctor Who.
When I was a child, I was the first episodes that came to the U.S. were the Tom Baker
Mm-hmm.
episodes,
Amazing,
and
amazing.
then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I could never understand that first episode with Tom Baker where you see him regenerate from John Pertwee to Tom Baker. It never, I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? And
The
then
Boy or whatever it comes in.
yeah, and then you got to understand the story. So by the time Logopolis aired, where Tom Baker, changed it to Peter Davidson, you had
Right.
a really good understanding. But I got to tell you, it was such a big deal it was either 1985, late
Mhm.
85, early 86, when one of the local stations in New Jersey got the rights to air the William Hartnell episodes.
Oh wow.
That was a huge deal. And I remember writing to the night of that was co-hosted by a fellow by the name of Patrick Daniel O'Neill, who was one of the editors at Starlog.
Okay.
And I wrote him a letter, and we kept in touch. And it was funny when I first started writing articles
Mhm.
for comics trades. He was an editor over at Wizard, and he gave me my very first writing break. I wound up interviewing Marvel artist Joe Jusko and Larry Hama, who writer.
Well, Larry's a legend himself. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that was thanks to Patrick Daniel O'Neill. So it pays to do your outreach if you're passionate about something.
That's right. We got Kerry O'Quinn. We hung out with him the first year we went to Comic Con. We went down there and hung out with him. We mean him beamed up in the transporter and had the 360 degrees. I was like, "Whoa, we're beaming up!" It was awesome, man. You ever get to meet him? You ever talk to him
No,
before?
no, no.
Oh, man, the nicest guy I'll ever meet, man. He's a big nerd just like me. So
We're all part of the nerd community.
pretty
Come on.
much, man. So for Studio Chikara, is there any website links or any information you'd like to give out about the vinyl that you could share with
Yes,
everybody?
please. So yes. Right now, the version that we debuted at Comic Con is a continuity exclusive. But we have two other versions that are available now. You could go to www.studio studio Chikara CHIKARA.com, and we've got the other two versions up there ready to ship and everything. So we're very excited about it. It's the 40th anniversary of House of Terror, and not only is it a commemorative edition of the record, it's now in a gatefold cover, and it has liner notes and photographs, and we
Oh,
put some extra tchotchkes in there, so it's a good package. So we
and you
hope.
get the graphic novel by Neal Adams as well, The Monsters.
Yes, yeah, Neil wrote and drew the whole thing, and it's interesting that a lot of comics fans weren't aware of, that Neil wrote the story that was recorded,
Yeah,
but now that we're getting the word out there, it's pretty exciting for everybody.
totally cool. Well,
Yeah.
Robert, I wanted to thank you for joining in on this broadcast. I want to bring you back sometime soon to talk to you more about things, man.
No, anytime, please, and thank you for the invitation, and I hope we get to chat again soon.
Yes, indeed. And everybody down here on the title is Robert V. His name, and he got StudioChikara.com. Check it out and check the House of Terror 40th anniversary office. Robert, pleasure, sir.
Have a great day. Thanks a lot.